Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation, to the censors out there who protect the guard community guidelines. We at the New Health Conversation are very stringent about staying within your guidelines. Nothing we're showing to people is not available for them to see in the public domain. So we're not making claims. We don't do anything that's unsubstantiated. We've written 4 best-selling books to some of the top medical doctors in the world. We've done 20 shows on public broadcasting, 1,500 live lectures around the world. And our presentations are for educational purposes only. They're not intended to treat, diagnose, or make any medical claims. Everything that we do, just so you know, is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Anything that we're quoting from are from peer-reviewed human trial studies. We're researchers. We bring this information to people for free. There's nothing to buy on our website. And also, if we're showing before and after pictures, they're from the medical studies. They're not made up. They're not, and they're only intended to motivate people to really get healthy. And this new protocol that's invented was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world for more than 40 years. So we feel we're performing a great public service to everybody, just to be clear about that. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Helen. Hello, Taurus. Hello, Missy. Hello, user, etc. So what we're going to discuss today is this new, it's a revolutionary new weight loss, but it has nothing to do with counting calories. It has nothing to do with dieting, and no one was even allowed to exercise. Not that the researchers were going to exercise, but they wanted to eliminate exercise. What you're looking at there is real. How many of you, 2 questions I always ask my audience is, 1, does anyone know the real medical definition of a calorie? Because you're all counting calories. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, about how ineffective calorie counting is now being basically debunked by all the big major medical researchers, okay? The other thing that I want to ask you is, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, be honest, put it in the chat for me. How many of you, how long would you give yourself to do it? Also, if you like what you see and you hear it from me, tap on the screen. The third part, notice right above our head there in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's a free website to go to. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing for sale there. The only thing there is the medical proof behind everything we're going to talk about today. I think the sad thing is that the great majority of you will probably go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean, whatever diet you're on, despite the fact that right now, as we sit in this country, in the United States, 80% of Americans are overweight, 50% are obese, and 50% are pre-diabetic. We keep going in these diets, which actually break our heart. All the new research is saying this. This will shock all of you, I hope. 2/3 of you will end up gaining more weight than you lost on any diet you can name. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat a diet you think works. But listen, why aren't you interested in losing 5 pounds a week safely with no exercise and being able to keep it off? The protocol itself was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They spent 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people figuring out why diets didn't work and why they needed this new paradigm. Listen, this is so unique that the way you're going to eat, or what the researchers established, a new way of eating, is patented. It's a patented eating program that you will go on. And it's, by the way, the researchers don't sell anything. There's nothing to buy. There's no products. I know this is shocking to you. You're gonna do this with food, but you're also then going to do it in a very new way of eating food. We'll explain all of that to you in just a moment. But let me show you just a couple more quick pictures just so you can see how powerful this could be. I'd love to have a conversation with any of you. You're more than welcome. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. Look, I've been in nutritional research for 23 years and wrote 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world and appeared 20 times on PBS and 1,500 lectures around the world. I'm not trying to tell you that to impress you. What you need to know is that for 22 of my 23 years, despite all that academia, in the medical world, this protocol meant 0. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So let's look at just a couple more real quick. Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at that, everybody. Is that unbelievable? And it's healthy. She lost no lean muscle. They measured. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle despite not being allowed to exercise. And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. She literally lost 5 pounds a week for 3 months. But look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Do you think, is that a positive? Don't you think that's a very positive image for all of you? We're not trying to disparage anybody. We're trying to show you what's possible. Hello, Marlene, and hello, Roger for Freedom. Hello, Cardinal. Hello, Zach, 89053. Hello to all of you. Now, last but not least, this is an older guy. Now, you tell me if this is unbelievable. He lost 40.8 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days with no exercise. But look at his blood work. See, the difference with us, even I'm talking also to the sensors, we only present medical proof. We don't have to make claims because everything we're talking about is in the medical, it's in the public domain. You can go look all this up. As a matter of fact, on our website, we provide the studies for you to go and see. There's nothing to buy on that website. We're not selling you anything. We don't have any products. You're going to buy food. We're going to go over that right now. Okay, so how in the world can you do this? How many of you would be excited about losing 5 pounds a week, 20 pounds in a month? I'd love for anybody to put it in the chat. Kelly, how do you get started? Great question. I'm going to tell you right now. Perfect timing. Okay, so first of all, just bear with me. Be a little bit patient. I need you to understand who invented this and why all the diets you're on now are doomed to failure. The researchers who invented this, like I said, did 100 studies over 40 years. That's 4 decades. Thousands of people on every diet we could probably name. And they came to 3 conclusions that led them to discovering this. Conclusion number 1, it didn't matter what your diet was, you lost weight initially. Second thing, of the weight you were losing, let's say you lost 20 pounds, 25 to 40% of the weight you actually were losing was your lean muscle mass. As a result of you losing lean muscle mass, all these diets, it's not up for debate, that's what's going on. Your brain has to slow down your metabolism because there's not enough fuel to run your body. We'll get into that in just a moment, why counting calories is so ridiculous. The other thing that it's doing to you, not for you, when you lose lean muscle, it slows down your own immune system. So you literally, this may shock you, by going on diets, losing weight, by counting calories, you're literally making yourself unhealthy. So based on that, the researchers said, we got to do something different. They literally abandoned counting calories. And because see, they were the ones doing the analysis of keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, whatever it was. They didn't invent any of those, but they did invent this. So what they said was, here's the fundamentals of being alive. There are 3 primary things that we pretty much need, right? Air, breathing, water, and what's the third one that we need a minimum of? It's not calories. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why you're counting calories, I have no idea. What you need minimum of is nutrition. Why? Because it's the nutrition that keeps us alive by powering our organs, our brain, our kidneys, our heart, our liver, etc. This is proven. It's not up for debate. So when you go on a diet, what are you really doing? You're reducing the quantity of the food you're consuming, which by definition means you're reducing what? Nutrition. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you understand now why counting calories is ridiculous? And I'm still waiting for anybody to give me the definition of a calorie. In a year's time, I've had 8 people actually get it right. I didn't know what a calorie was 24 years ago. You're all counting calories. Please tell me why. Please tell me why you're counting calories. Because an influencer is telling you that. And they have no medical proof. They have not a shred of medical proof. I can't find anybody on social media with one shred of medical proof. They have opinions. Maybe they have a scientific paper. That doesn't matter. That doesn't count. The highest level in medical investigation is a peer-reviewed human trial study done on human beings and then scrutinized by the biggest medical journals in the world, and then it gets published. They have 10 published studies now proving that this works. Okay, so what did they do? They said, nothing to do with calories. We don't want you counting calories. We're going to create for you serving sizes based on foods we're going to pick for you. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that you would literally buy from your grocery store. You will get a grocery list for free that you would shop with. But what they're going to give you, not calorie counts for protein, fats, carbs, fruits, vegetables, whatever. They're going to give you serving sizes. Does that make sense? So instead of counting calories, to forget counting calories. They've already figured it out for you. You need this level of nutrition. But notice only 30% of what you're going to buy actually comes from your grocery store. Here's what makes it unique. Here's what changes everything. The other 70% of the food comes not from the researchers, not from us. You buy directly from these suppliers who for the last 20 years had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to bring back these foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. That's what these researchers used. That was the basis. But then, obviously, in putting a meal together, you have the ingredients, and then you need a recipe. So let's call it the recipe. But they got a patent on what I'm going to share with you next, on how you eat, when you eat, what you eat, etc. It's called protein pacing. Does keto or paleo or Mediterranean, do they have patents? No, of course not. So what they did, 5 days a week, you'd actually have 4 meals a day. Listen to me. Start with the exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these foods. And what they figured out was, it wasn't a matter just of getting all this nutrition in a day. Like they tried it with like lunch and dinner, all the same amount of food. Didn't work. The key, and why they got the patent, they were able to prove medically that by spacing out the food over the course, let's say, of 8 to 10 hours, that's what produced these results. So it was the mechanism of the timing, they call it the eating pattern, is what made all the difference in the world. So 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. Okay, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, now this will spin all of you out. Listen to me carefully. I don't want you to get nuts on me. For 2 days a week, she was doing something called intermittent, brand new concept, intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, she was eating 8 times a day. Again, the timing mattered. She was having something about every hour and a half. People that weighed 400 pounds were shocked. They weren't hungry. If you looked at the amount of food on your plate, you'd go, oh my God, I'm going to be starving to death. But it has nothing to do with the food. It has to do with how much nutrition. And these foods from around the world that they use in this, it would be the equivalent of you taking, I think they said, 600 or 800 different nutrients. I mean, hello? There's no capsules here. This isn't a lotion, potion, pill, etc. It's food. And some of these foods come from the blue zones, the areas in the world where people are living to be over 100 years old. I want to put that stuff in my body. So that's how the researchers put this together. And look at the result. How about, can you even believe it? Do you think it's fake? It's not fake. She lost 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in a month with no exercise. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Are you interested, everybody? Because right above our head is this solution for you for the rest of your life, potentially. See it in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website you can go to and see the medical proof, or not, or you can go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean, following these people. But my gosh, everybody, Johns Hopkins Medical School, you talk about a warning shot over the bow, listen to this. This is Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese by 2030. They went on to say by 2048, all American adults will become overweight or obese. What are you doing? Do you really think the diet you're on now is going to work long term? Because the mountains of evidence show that's not happening. 2/3 of you are going to gain more weight than you lost. You don't have to believe me. Here's one of the big studies, the title, Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. Listen to what they said. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. That's 2/3 of you. What are you doing? This is sustainable. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And this whole nonsense about calories in, calories in. Good for you, Jayhawk. I'm happy for you. You're doing something really smart. But the other thing, and Jayhawk, this you probably won't like, or all of you. The main reason to do this is not to lose weight. The main reason to do this is to detox. Now, let me explain to you why. There's a new medical syndrome, which is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. It's called TDOS. T is for toxicity, the D is for deficiency, the O is for being overweight, the S is for stress. What it means is we now know that we're breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, including you, Jayhawk. And what your body's doing, it's taking those chemicals and stuffing it inside your fat cell. we're storing chemicals. Now, you don't have to believe me. There was a big study that just came out 5 weeks ago. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. We're storing herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon in our bodies. No diet, with all due respect, Jayhawk, has ever produced a gram of evidence that any toxins leaving the body until now. This, first and foremost, is a detox. This, first and foremost, is not a diet. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved without a shadow of a doubt that this protocol was assisting the body in removing herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flame retardants from the body. The shrinkage in her body with no exercise was the result of the body being able to remove the chemicals from the fat cells. See, as we ingest the chemical, the body takes the fat and puts it in the fat cell. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, I'm really thin and I'm in good shape. Well, you might want to know this. In study, they did 300 really fit people, and they did MRIs on their bodies. And although nothing showed up on the outside, when they looked inside around the brain, the kidney, breast tissue, prostate, they saw this white halo of this toxic fat where the body was storing these chemicals. So whether it's you, Jayhawk, or anybody else, or an athlete or an Olympian, we're all becoming really toxic because of the world we live in. These chemicals, we can't avoid them. Right now, we're breathing in the coal-fired, the fumes from the coal-fired power plants from about 2 weeks ago. I hope I'm shocking some of you. I hope that you would Jurasac. Okay, I'm going to go over the protocol again for you here in just a moment, okay? So let's take a look at this gentleman. How about 40.8 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days, and that's the least important. The thing I want you to notice about him, look at his lab work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days with no exercise, and look at his stomach. Is that unbelievable? So everybody wants to know, how did they do it? How did they do it? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you now. So first of all, any diet out there, according to all the research, up to 40% of what, 25 to 40% of what you lose on any, that's not my opinion, okay, is lean muscle. And when that happens, it slows down your metabolism, and 2/3 of people gain more weight than you lost. Jayhawk, you're very lucky you haven't gained the weight back. I hope you never do. But I'm telling you that the medical proof is 2/3 of everybody on every diet is gaining back more weight than they lost. Now, they maybe didn't do what you did, or they weren't as diligent, et cetera. And so the point is that when you say a lot of weight via ketogenic and intermittent fasting, how much weight did you lose and how long did it take you, Jayhawk? I'll come back to you, I promise. I'm just curious, all right? But let's finish on this for the people that want to know about this protocol. First of all, above her head in blue, you see the new health conversation. That's where the medical proof is, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, who he and his team invented this. And he'll talk about the fact that they'll never do any regular diet, intermittent fasting, water fasting, carnivore. They'll never do any conventional diet again based on this, because this is a detox, which is what we all need, okay? Now, so the key was, it had, first of all, do you all know, does anyone even know what a calorie is? Can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? Because you're counting them. But guess who doesn't count calories, everybody? Your body. I'm going to explain to you now why diets long-term it can't work. They can't. Maybe there's an exception. Jayhawk, you may be an exception. But if we look around, and they're talking about Johns Hopkins Medical School, but in 23 years, they're estimating 100% of America is going to be overweight or obese. I don't think that means diets are working. Do any of you? So the researchers said something new. They said the only thing your body cares about, other than air and water, is the thing that keeps us alive, in addition to those, of course, and that's nutrition. What they never tell you when you go on a diet, you're reducing the quantity of the food you're consuming. What else you're reducing? Nutrition. When that happens, your brain goes in starvation mode and turns your muscles into fuel. Then your brain has no choice. It slows your metabolism down. That's why you're plateauing on all these stupid diets. That's why none of them work, or almost none of them work long term. So the researchers said, we're going to pick foods with higher levels of nutrition. Forget any type of a diet. Forget it. Nothing to do with calories. What we're going to do is we're going to pick out foods, 30% of what you would consume on this, I'm speaking to the audience now, you'd get from the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But the hell with calories. They don't care about calories. They give you serving sizes. Very important to make this work, right? Now, 30% of what you consume, you buy at the grocery store, from your grocery store. The other 70%, actually, you'd buy directly from these other researchers, not the ones who created this, who had spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to bring back foods with huge amounts of nutrition and nutrients from some of the blue zones where people are living to be 100 years old. Kind of important to me. I want that, right? So now they had the foods. Now here's the part that's so amazing. They then got a patent on a new way of consuming food. It's called protein pacing. So what she did, what you would do, listen to this, everybody, 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. And with all due respect to intermittent fasting, it's one of the most unhealthy things you could ever do in your lifetime. Because at about 16, 18 hours with no food, your body's going to break your muscles down. Sorry, that's what's happening. I've got a big study here from the Journal of the American Medical Association. They said after studying people for 3 months on intermittent fasting, most of the weight they shed was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. That's the Journal of the American Medical Association. It doesn't matter what diet is, you're losing lean muscle. That's a horrible thing for your immune system long term. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So these researchers knew that the only thing that was going to matter to your body was not calories, but how much enough nutrition to make sure the brain didn't go into starvation mode and turn your muscles into fuel. So like 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Start with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner. Now, what they proved that intermittent fasting or any of this other nonsense has that one shred of medical evidence. They proved that the timing of when you ate the food within a window of about 8 to 10 hours in a day was the most crucial part. They got a patent on it. Now that's 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, here's what they did that nobody's ever done before. They created something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, absolutely no food from the grocery store at all. But wait a minute, you said you're fasting with nutrition. Hold on. The other food, the 100% of the food you'd consume on that 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast comes from these exotic foods from around the world, but now you're going to eat 8 times a day over about 12 or 14 hours. Again, the timing matters. Because what happens when your body doesn't have enough nutrition, you have to understand your body is going to use your fat, use your muscles for fuel. My God, they proved it. Journal of American Medical Association, most of the weight shed on intermittent fasting was lean muscle mass. Period. End of the story. Not an opinion. I don't give opinions. If you want opinions, plenty of people on social media that give you opinions. We only give you medical facts. Now, maybe that makes you mad. Maybe you don't like it. But how in the world do you think you're going to lose 20 pounds in a month, 5 pounds a week? By the way, they measured, instead of her losing any lean muscle, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle and wasn't allowed to exercise. And also, hunger came down 41% in a month. And what no diet's ever done, they measured inflammation. It came down 25% in 30 days. This is the reason to do this is not to lose weight. That's the throw-in. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. 23 years. No one's arguing that you can lose weight on any of these diets. No one's arguing that. But what kind of weight are you losing? Because when you're losing lean muscle, it makes you unhealthy. Do you all get that? Please, somebody interact with me. I'd love to have some comments. Anaya, Smitha, Marty, Ginger, Cabiso, let's see, GK joined, Debbie Wood joined, Alicia. Listen, a lot of new people coming on. Do you want to know how she did this? Somebody tell me, how excited would you be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month with no exercise and it's safe and you lose no lean muscle, actually gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise, and they're not against exercise. You trying to tell me that you're going to show me a diet where this is possible? 60 pounds in 3 months? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. You think that's happening on diets, everybody? You think that's Photoshop? That's my friend's daughter. We're not Photoshopping that. Again, for the censors, this is from the medical proof. Debbie Wood, how? What was the portion size? George, okay, hold on. Laughing boy, whoa. Okay, let me explain to you all what they did. So a portion size, to answer your question, who asked me that? For example, like protein, let's say 4 to 6 ounces. Let's say it was vegetables, a third to a half a cup, depending on what. It's all laid out for you. Every food, they give you the serving size, not the amount of calories. I didn't invent this, but you understand, they got a patent on this. Do you understand, everybody? A patent on how to eat this. Because it wasn't just about the portion sizes, it was about when you ate, over what period of time, and how much time between meals. It's all, they got a patent, for crying out loud. Do you think paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, any of those things have patents on how you eat? Of course not. You all should be excited about this. You should be like out of your minds that this is possible. No, it's not fasting, Deb. It's intermittent nutritional fasting. It's fasting with nutrition. I need to explain it to everybody. Deb, let me ask you a question. If you could lose 20 pounds in a month, how excited would you be? With no exercise and gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass, and also detoxify your body at the same time, because that's really what this is a detox. Deb, no, there's no sorry, Deb. No, I'm just curious. Just tell me you'd love to. Okay, so Karina, and for Deb and for everybody, I'm going to explain again how she did this. But please, everybody, including Deb, be patient. It's not some simple answer like we're going to give you some recipes. That's just nonsense. This is changing people's lives. Now, Deb, let me show you another big example of this. Look at Julie. Look at that, Deb, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body. That's not photoshopped, with no exercise at all. Or then you can look at my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, arms, whatever. And then I want to show all of you this older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his blood work, 8.4 to A1C dropped from 8.4 to 6.4. Look at his triglycerides, Deb, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days. Now let's come back and I'll explain to you what they did. Now again, I don't want to make people mad, but sometimes I do, because I only present medical proof. So all these diets, when people come on and tell me they've lost weight on this diet, that diet, like I said, I have no axe to grind against intermittent fasting, but the evidence is that most of the weight people are losing on that is their lean muscle mass. Not my opinion. That's from the Journal of the American Medical Association, not somebody's opinion from even, I don't care if it's a doctor, whatever, unless they have medical proof. Sorry, it doesn't mean anything in the medical world, right? So anyway, what did they do here? Okay, Harry Potter, we're going to go over all that with you in just a moment, okay? So the key to all this was the researchers. Well, first of all, does anybody even know the definition of a calorie? Because you're all counting calories if you're on any kind of traditional diet. We'll hold that aside. The researchers the people who invented this, by the way, are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Let's start with that. They'd done 40 years of studies, 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people. And you know what they concluded? 3 things. 1, every diet they analyzed over 40 years, people lost weight initially. Secondly, of the weight people were losing, this is over 40 years, thousands of people that they measured, 25 to 40% of what people lost, it didn't matter what the diet was lean muscle. Put it in perspective. If they lost 20 pounds, 5 to 8 pounds of that was lean muscle mass, which then forces your brain to slow down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on diets, and that's why 2/3 of you will regain more weight than you lost. I know that's going to make you mad, but that's the reality of where we stand as a society. Now watch this, everybody. The researchers said the only thing that matters to your body is, well, air, water, and the third thing that keeps us going, all our organs, is nutrition. So think of a diet differently now. This is how the researchers explained it to me. What they said is when you go on a diet, you're lowering the quantity of food. That's a given, right? But in the same time, what are you lowering? Nutrition. When that happens, the brain calculates there's not enough fuel, called nutrition, to run all your organs, because your organs don't run on calories. Your heart, your kidney, your liver, it runs on nutrition, right? So as you begin to use your muscles for fuel, the brain has no choice. It not only does it slow down your metabolism, and that's why you gain all the weight back, but secondly, what else does it affect? Your own immune system. So going on these diets, counting calories, I don't care what weight you've lost, but it's the most unhealthy weight you could ever have, and you're making yourself unhealthy. You're making yourself more vulnerable to viruses and bacteria, etc., because you're just slowing down your own. Listen, I can talk about this. My own brother in 2011 was diagnosed with kidney cancer. And my brother was 6'4", And from the time he was diagnosed until he passed away in 8 months, when he passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. You talk about a severe diet. He couldn't eat. I mean, that's what happens. They lose their appetite. I mean, it's a sad thing. We know that by losing lean muscle, it slows down your metabolism. So let's put that aside. So the researchers said, we want to do this. We want to come up with a new program that has nothing to do with counting calories. There's no products here, by the way. You're going to buy food. But the researchers put together for you a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, and gave you the serving sizes for each one, depending on what you were having, okay? That was 30% of what she consumed or what you'd consume. The other, here's what separates from anything you're doing. The other 70% came from these other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition. Also, they went to the blue zones. Some of you have heard of that. Those are areas where people live to be like 100 years old and they don't get sick. They brought those nutrients back. So the researchers, 30% you'd buy from the grocery store organic, but the other 70% you're not getting on any diet, paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time restricted. You're not getting those nutrients. They're not available in the store. But that wasn't the end of it. Then the researchers figured out, okay, we've got these incredible amounts of nutrition. Now, how do we have people eat? They got a patent, everybody, a patent on a new way of eating. It's called protein pacing. And we teach you all this for free, by the way. The coaching we do is free, and we don't charge for coaching. You're not buying anything from us. You're buying food. But let's go over this. So 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods. Can you imagine on a diet having 4 meals a day? You start with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store with your family, and a 4th meal after dinner. Now, the key to it was the timing, what they called the eating pattern. See, they tried different approaches. One approach was they gave people all the nutrition between lunch and dinner. Another approach, they had people eat 1 meal a day. None of that worked. What worked and what they proved and why they got a patent was this protein pacing, where they paced out how much you were eating at what given time. That really mattered. It really mattered. And they got a patent on it. Is any diet you're on, do they have a patent on how to eat? I don't think so. Then 2 days a week, someone's asked me, I think it was Deb, is it fasting? Now, this is the part I want you all to listen very carefully. They created something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, nothing to do with fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but she was eating these exotic foods around the world 8 times a day. Again, the timing, she was eating every hour and a half. That's why she was fasting with nutrition. Do you know people who weigh 400 pounds doing this, they don't get hungry? Because you're not hungry for calories. Am I getting through to all of it? Somebody give me a yes. Do you understand when you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories and your body has no idea what a calorie is? Why are you counting calories? The researchers knew this. They said the hunger in the body is created by only one thing, a deficit of nutrition. Nothing to do with calories. They solved it. Do you know that, for example, all these people, no one was allowed to exercise. They actually wore Fitbits. And do you know that in a month, she lost no water weight, and they measured? She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Look at her stomach, how much it went down from day 1 to day 30 with no exercise. You trying to tell me some diet that's going to happen? And when you look at someone like Julie, a total body transformation in 37 days, 35 pounds, that's almost a pound a day. How many of you would be excited about a pound a day? Or how about just even 5 pounds a week? Because her numbers, that's the low end of what we see is about 5 pounds a week. But also you got to understand, that picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. So Deb, do you understand now why it's not fasting? Do you get it? It's a new concept. And they got a patent. Deb, they got a patent on this. You think the patent office just gives out patents if you don't have something unbelievably unique? This is the solution for the world crisis, obesity. They just did a study, in March of last year, so a year ago, The Lancet. They now estimate, listen to this, 5.5 billion people worldwide are overweight. But the scary number is 1 billion people are clinically obese. What? This is going to bankrupt the whole world. Do you understand? Right now in the United States, as we sit here today, of the people who are overweight and obese, 50% of those are pre-diabetic. And my God, John Hopkins Medical School, in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. But by 2048, they're estimating all American adults will become overweight or obese. That's not me saying that. That's John Hopkins. What the hell are you all doing? Pardon my French. You're counting calories. You're following these influencers that don't have one shred of medical evidence. Why? Now, further evidence. This is the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, June 9th. Just, what was that, 18 days ago. I coached these two women. The daughter, the blonde, she's a nurse, 57 years old, 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for nearly 3 years. You think you get on the cover of this as some kind of a, look what they said, over 50 protein miracle. What are you doing, everybody? Why? And here's the cool thing. You see right above our head there in blue, everybody, the New Health Conversation? It's a free medical website you can go to and see all the medical proof. We won't contact you. Why would we need to contact you when there's the medical proof? If you like what you see, notice free coaching. The coaching is free. So what you would do, let me show all of you again. Go to Google or whatever your search engine is, the New Health Conversation. That's what it is. This is the New Health Conversation. Click on it, and there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. #1, the most important thing probably is a podcast with the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the world. I'm not that expert, but he is. They created this. Aren't you curious to see what he says? You know what they said? They'll never do. They're the top people in the world. They said, never again will we ever put people on any traditional diet. They said it would be unethical. I mean, they said, we know, for example, Deb, we know, for example, so Harry Potter, I just went over the foods with you, I think. Debbie Wood, yeah. So you get that it's not fasting. Deb, are you curious? I mean, does this excite you, the possibilities here? For all of you, for everybody. Gosh, can we get some likes? We have 98 likes, really, after 36 minutes? This is going to change your lives or not. Are you going to go back to these silly diets? You're going to gain all your weight back. This is going to change your life because it's not about the weight loss. It's about your health moving forward in your life. My God, you have a free website to go to. You can see it there in blue. Yeah, now let's get some taps. Come on, everybody. You can do better than that. It's not about me. It's about this website reaching the world. We got 1 billion people clinically obese. Do you think we got to do something? You want to just sit on your hands and count calories? You can, because most of you will. We see how many people, the coaching is free the whole time. You can do a consultation free, and then they'll coach you. And the key to this is maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. 23 years. I know there are people that go on these diets and they've lost weight and they've kept it off for a year or 2 years. Well, great. They're an anomaly, but the chances, the odds are really against them being able to keep the weight off forever. I hope they can. I'm not against people. So all of you don't think I'm insensitive to this. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. And 24 years ago, this is why I hate diets so much. She called me up and they said, you know, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend 1 day thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom was like 62 years old when she died. I miss her like crazy. My mom, I believe, dieted herself to death. She went to Weight Watchers for years. She'd lose 4 ounces, come home, they'd give her a star, and she'd be all excited. She did the grapefruit diet. She did the cabbage soup diet. A lot of what the diets you're on right now, they've been around, whether it's Atkins or Scarsdale or it has a new name. You know, she followed what Oprah was doing. She did Optifat. I mean, I can't even keep track of all the diets she did. She would cut diets out of the National Enquirer. We'd love to prevent you from that same waste of your life. You only have so much life in you. How do you want to spend it? Don't get mad at me when I say this, but are you living a less than lifestyle? Are you accepting the fact that you're overweight, but somehow you're going to go on a diet and it's going to work? I don't want to be the bad person here, the bad person. But somebody's got to tell you the reality. Whatever diet you're on, it's going to be a miserable failure. Let me explain to you. Here's Medicare backing up. Well, listen to what Medicare is saying, everybody, Debbie and everybody else. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The researchers found the studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Let me read a new article. I'll give you just a quick summary here of why calorie counting can't work. Listen to this is from the researchers, not from me. The calorie counting myth, perpetuated by its simplicity, distracts from the truth. Health and weight management hinge on nourishing the body with high-quality, nutrient-rich foods, not obsessing over numbers. This evidence-based perspective, backed by decades of research and real-world outcomes, demands a paradigm shift away from the outdated, ineffective calorie narrative and toward a focus on nutrition as the cornerstone of well-being. That's what these researchers did for all of you and all of us, everybody, even Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. Listen to what they said to back up that. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these research. Now listen, even if you think you're going to do organic and do whole food in North America, you're kidding yourself. Our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. Let's take spinach. A bowl of spinach from 1953, Cornell University. They estimate the iron levels in spinach from 1953 to 2020 have decreased by 4,300%. So please don't put in the chat that you eat healthy and you're going to do whole foods. Great. But our food's almost nutritionally bankrupt. That's why these researchers only let her eat 30% of the food, because for 40 years they'd given organic food on all these diets to all these people, and it failed miserably. Miserably. How in the hell could they be talking about we're going to have 86% of America overweight and obese in 4.5 years if any of these diets work? Wake up, everybody. Please wake up. All we're asking, go to the website. It's free. We don't have anything to sell you. But you're going to get coached for free because we got coached. Our job is to make you aware. Our job is not to sell you or convince you. And the sad part is most of you are going to go and do whatever diet you were on before you came on this podcast. Or maybe you only stayed on for 10 seconds and you jumped off. But again, who's going to show me? Just lost 2 stone on Mounjaro. Awful. Felt like a gobbled up my muscles. Side effects. Horrible. Debbie. Okay. Debbie, let me support you in that, okay? So that means 2 stone, if I'm right, Deb, isn't that 20 pounds? Isn't a stone about 10 pounds? Just let me know, but I'm pretty sure. Do women have hair loss with? No. Grinch-tastic. No. If anything, women's hair grows like mad because you're giving yourself massive amounts of nutrition. See, on a diet, you're in deprivation of nutrition, and of course you're going to lose hair. Yes, you're starving your body to death, and it's trying to compensate. It's making you hungry, and you think you want calories. No, you want more nutrition. Look at her. Look at the change in her body in a month. Or look at Julie. My God, look at this. No loose skin, everybody. 35 pounds in 37 days? You think that's a diet? You think any diet would ever do that? Grinch, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. Grinch, here's what the researchers did. These exotic foods around the world, they said they represent the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint of view. You've never done anything like this. And Grinch, here's the other part I didn't even tell everybody. So those foods, about 70% of what you spend on your food in a month, they give you 100% money back guarantee in the first month if it doesn't work. Grinch, show me anything else like that. Who's doing that? And you get coached for free. And you can see the medical proof in blue right above her head there, Grinch. See it? The New Health Conversation. Go and listen to the podcast from the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. That's not me. Let him tell you about the fact they've abandoned calorie counting. They got rid of all traditional diets. They're only doing this protocol. Granted, they invented it, but they have the medical proof that it's going to, People are losing as much weight in 4 days as a month of any diet you've ever been on, Grinch. How much would that motivate you? No, it's healthy. Let me give you an example. Look at this. He lost 40 pounds in a month. He's an older guy. Talk about health. Look at his A1C, Grinch. From 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides, 242 to 124 in a month. You think any diet's ever produced anything like that? He cut his triglycerides in half in 30 days. Also, I know the diabetics in this study, the doctors monitor them. As you know, with a diabetic, or maybe some of you don't know, what happens is your body says, it kind of tells you, they measure it, how much insulin you need. The need for insulin in this came down 41% in 30 days. That's never ever been seen before, ever. This is not a diet. Don't please everybody. Don't try to think you can categorize this in anything you've ever done. That's why we encourage you, invite you, implore you, go to the website and see the medical proof for yourself. Don't believe us. But who else is showing you peer-reviewed human trial studies on all of the social media across the whole darn internet? Who, Grinch, who's showing you peer-reviewed human trial studies? Who would it be? I can't find anybody. I see lots of opinions. I see medical doctors and chiropractors, but that doesn't make them nutritional researchers. They're giving you an opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Would you take a drug, Grinch, that wasn't done in a peer-reviewed human trial study? And yet you're going on these diets and entrusting your own health to an opinion with no backup. And then we look around at something like, John Hopkins saying that 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. And by 2048 and 23 years, they estimate all American adults will be overweight or obese. Does that sound like a solution, Grinch? It's getting worse every year, all of you. We're getting bigger and bigger and sicker and sicker and sicker. We spend 4 times the industrialist world on healthcare, which I call sick care, and yet we have about the 100th outcome. Do you know we're the most overfed and undernourished society in the world? Did you all know that? Do you know that our life expectancy now is 10 years shorter than the Japanese? It's because the food we're consuming in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. And this is not about taking supplements. There's no supplements here. There's no product. You're buying food, but also eating it in a completely new way. They got a patent on how you're going to eat, a patent. So again, do women, no, they don't, no, Grinch, no hair loss. What about fiber? There's tons of it. If we already have it, can't we lose weight quick? Told to quick hair loss. No, Grinch, I answered that. Well, I'll tell you what happens, Grinch. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. It's all about maintenance, Grinch. It's all about maintenance. That's the whole key. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. That's what the researchers call it. That's what makes it so different. It's totally sustainable. Oh, Grinch, guess how simple maintenance is. Every morning, the best food you can put in your body in the morning, 2 meals, and then maybe every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Because the thing I don't think I told everybody, including you, Grinch, this is a new medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. TDOS, what does it mean? T is for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being over, and S is for stress. And every one of us are breathing, drinking. Oh, Peter Greenlaw, oh, that happens to me. I did discover it. We're storing chemicals in our fat cells. There's no doubt about it. The reason you're seeing the bloating in her stomach on day 1 is that, see, we don't lose. If anybody tells you burn fat, run, they're lying. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and your fat cells can expand or contract. When the body, it places the chemical inside the fat cell because it doesn't know what else to do with it, because the immune system can't deal with herbicides, pesticides, Scotch guard, Teflon. The fat cell expands. That's her stomach on day 1. Then look at her stomach on day 30 with no exercise. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Let that sink into everybody. Okay, so who else? What happens after 90 days? What if needs 80-pound weight loss? Oh, well, here you go. How about that, Grinch? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? So project out. 80 pounds, probably 4 months, 5 months at the max. But look at the change in her body. Where's the loose skin, Grinch? Where is the loose skin? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. That's the detox. See, that's what this is, Grinch. It's a detox. It's not a diet. Do all of you get that? Come on, let's get some more. We're only at 600 likes after almost 50 minutes. Come on, isn't this impactful to all of you? Who else is showing you real medical proof of the solution, of the answer for global obesity, overweight, and health? This, first and foremost, is about your health. Keep asking me questions. So, Deb, are you clear? You see the website above my head there? You see it? The New Health Conversation? And are you in New Zealand? You're somewhere in the world if you're talking about stone, because I want to make sure. But it's all through the EU. It's in New Zealand. It's in Australia. It's all North America, Canada, Mexico. But if you're talking about stone, you might be in Ireland. We're all over the EU, so it's not a problem, just to let you know. Okay? Yes, I print screen. I'm UK. Oh, no problem then. Yeah, absolutely. We've got all kinds of our fellow Brits. I'm not a Brit, but I've been there. I love your country. I went there, oh gosh, 25 years ago. I went every month for 10 days. God, I loved it. And it only got rained on once. I just remember running in like Kensington Garden. Oh my God, you have the greenest country in the world. Not so fond of your warm beer, but I won't hold that against you. Okay? So again, who else would like, come on, everybody. Can you tap on the screen if you like the content? Let's get up. We're only 695 likes after 50 minutes now. So who else would like to ask me a question about how in the world is this even possible? Is it safe? Is it real? Is it photoshopped? Is it AI? Is it? No, it's real. It's absolutely real. Okay, now we're getting going with some taps. So I see Debbie, I see Grinch, Tastic, I see James Harlow, Coach Red 1. Seriously, I'm here live. Let's have a discussion. I'll answer any questions for you. This is real. And I've got them right here. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies in the biggest medical journals in the world. What diet are you on that has any medical proof behind it at all? And also, I'm proud to say, I coach these two women. This is Women's World Magazine, the #1 circulated women's magazine in the entire world. The daughter, the blonde, is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 3 years. Look at what the magazine said, over 50 protein miracle. That's not an ad. You can't buy the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world. And then they wrote an entire, I'll find it here for you. They wrote a 2-page article, look at new protein miracle diet. That's the magazine saying that. The researchers, they didn't write it. They wrote about the researchers because it's so revolutionary and it's so life-changing. Again, I would challenge any of you, ask me questions. What do you think about that? I mean, look at that. How many of you would give yourself, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? Any of you? And we're at 800. Come on, let's get some more taps on there. We got to get to at least 1,000. I mean, I'm losing my touch here. We're at 52 minutes and we only have 800 likes. This is life. Look, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. That's kind of our booby prize. The main reason to do it is to detoxify your body and to assist your body in getting rid of the herbicides, the pesticides, the Scotchgard, the Teflon. That we're all storing in our bodies and our fat cells, whether you know it or not. Even if you're thin, you're storing chemicals inside your body. That's 20 pounds in inflammation. No. Well, listen, Grinch, great question. The inflammation, again, in the studies that you'll see on the website if you go there, right? It came down 25% in a month. This has never been seen on any diet ever in history. So inflammation is not based on the pounds. It was based on the measure. They actually measure, for any of my medical people out there, what they measure on inflammation is what's called C-reactive protein and interleukin-1. Those are called the medical biomarkers. So they knew what they were and starting on day 1, and 30 days later, those had dropped by 25%. This has never been seen in the history of the world before. No diet has ever lowered inflammation in the body, and we all suffer from it. We do. It's the underlying cause pretty much of every disease out there is inflammation. And if you can lower your inflammation, obviously you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. So let's see. There are more markers for inflammation. I said C-reactive protein interleukin-1. It was done in what's called T-bars, which is that's the study that they used to do it. That's what they measured, and it came down 25%. Now, then you don't listen. Go listen. I mean, if you believe in peer-reviewed human trial studies, go look at them, and then you decide. I'm not here to convince you. I don't need to do that because we're the only people in the world that have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. One of the big studies that would interest you, Grinch, was done in Nature Communications, which is the #1 medical journal in the world, titled Gut Microbiome Remodeling and Metabolic Profile Improves Drastically in Response to Protein Pacing and Intermittent Nutritional Fasting. This had nothing to do with the weight loss people had. It had to do with their gut health. They saw a massive increase in gut, what's called biodiversity, which sounds like you would know what that is, in just a month. And people in 8 weeks with all kinds of, from Crohn's, colitis, irritable bowel, acid reflux, saw massive improvements. Now, no, we're not making a claim because it's in the medical study. You can go and look at it. It's on the website, Grinch. You can go to the New Health Conversation, and let me show what's there for everybody. You type in the New Health Conversation in your search engine, whoever search engine you use, the New Health Conversation, and you'll see it. Click on there, it comes up, and here's the medical website. And you'll see there are modules. There are 4 modules. 1 is the podcast with the #1 nutritional researcher in the world. 2 is a more detailed explanation. 3, the actual peer-reviewed human trial studies. So Grinch, you can go look at them yourself. They're there. We're totally transparent. We're proud of the fact that we can make this available. We didn't do the studies, but we're making it available to the world so they can make a decision about what they want to do. I bet you should be curious, Grinch. So let's say you don't do this. I don't even know if you want to lose weight. But what would you do right now if you didn't know about this? What would you be doing to lose weight and improve your health? I'd be very curious. Not in an argumentative way. I'm just curious, because I think you're going to find that I've got the proof that I don't care what diet it is. They're all miserable failures. None of them work long term. What year and month on May? Oh, it's June 9th. This year. It was 18 days ago. June 9th. Do you see that? You actually, I think you can read the date. See it? Where is it? Let me see where the date is. Oh yeah, it's right above Women's World there. Sorry. Can you see it? June 9th, 2025. Does everybody see that? And like I said, you don't get on the cover of this and have a featured news story if it's not real. Okay, so Ben Bickman, Balance. Yeah, I'm real familiar with him, but his results are minimal compared to this. I mean minimal, okay? With all due respect, I've seen his work. He's a calorie in, calorie out guy that's completely debunked by all the major studies now. Nice try. He's got people losing maybe a pound a week. We got people losing 10. Well, look at, you think he's ever produced anything like this? 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month? And he's using food for the United States. First problem. Problem 1. Already in a nutritional deficit. No, I'm really familiar with him. Absolutely. Great researcher. But his research is pitiful compared to this. Pitiful. Pitiful. No measure of inflammation ever coming down in any of his studies. No detox ever proven, even a gram of a chemical coming out of the body on what he's talking about. Those are the facts. What he's doing is the best that you can do, but it's not this. I mean, honestly, you really think that he's going to be able to pull this off? 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. Look at the change in the body composition. And again, the main reason to do this is detoxification, which he has none of. None. Zero. None. Okay? None. I mean, the thing that we're facing now is that we're up against this. Let me read to you from the latest research on toxins, okay? Now, you have to understand, Grinch and everybody else, that we didn't even know we were storing chemicals in our body till 2005, 20 years ago, Mount Sinai Medical School in New York. So let me read to you from the latest. Now, this is not my opinion. I don't give you opinions. Wait till you hear this, everybody. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports that the rise in the incidence of obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrialized chemicals. These chemicals have a name. They're called obesogens. They go on to say, simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, artificial hormones fed to animals, plastics in food packaging, chemicals added to processed food, and pesticides sprayed into produce. They act in a variety of ways mimicking human hormones such as estrogen. Are you listening, ladies? Blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone. Are you listening, men? And essentially reprogram us to gain weight. So, Grinch, had you heard of obesogens before today? Bickman, not an impact on obesogens. Zero, none, zero. No diet, zero, none. That's why the main reason to do this is not to lose weight, it's to detox your body. Unless you think it's a good idea to be carrying all these chemicals inside you. But there's more evidence from one of the top researchers in the world. I'm going to read this. Dr. Paula Bailey Hamilton, considered to be the world's leading authorities on toxic chemicals and their effects on our health. She says what appears to be happening is that our natural slimming system is being poisoned by the toxic chemicals we encounter in our everyday lives. And this damage is making it increasingly difficult or impossible for our bodies to control their weight. The end result is that we gain weight in the form of fat, not muscle, as chemicals tend to cause muscles to shrink and body fat to accumulate. Actually, what she's talking about, the fat cells are expanding. You don't add fat cells to your body or decrease them through anything. So again, you have to understand, Grinch, I have nothing against him, but it's not this. It's not even in the same category. It's not even in the same zip code. His research is based on the typical calorie in, calorie out, proto. I mean, none of it's working in the long run. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, when Medicare says, you don't think they're aware of Bickman? You don't think so? With their money and their reach? Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The Medicare research has reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than lost on any diet. And in summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. So good luck, Bickman. 2/3 of the people on Bickman's diets are going to gain all their weight back. That sounds like a great solution. With all due respect, very smart guy, but just because you're studying something doesn't mean you're studying the answer. It's an answer, but it's not this answer, if that makes sense. So who else? We're having a great discussion. Well, Grinch, please understand, I'm a very nice person, okay? And did you hear me talk? So how do we start? I'm going to tell you in a minute. I praise your honesty. How to reverse it. Chica. Oh, everybody's asking me. So Grinch, thank you for that. I really appreciate being honest. We can have as long as we have civil discussion, I'm good with that. And I'm not trying to, Bickman's a brilliant guy. Don't hear me say that. But his research is nothing compared to this, okay? So now all the people want to know how we did this. So let me go back. So everybody, this is not a diet. It's not about counting calories, and there was no exercise allowed. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Please be patient. It's going to take me a minute or two to explain it. It's not like, oh, here's some recipes. This is way more complicated. What the researchers had done after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, what they determined was every diet, 3 things happened. 1, every person, every diet lost weight. Number 2, though, every diet, every time, 25 to 40% of the weight people were losing was lean muscle mass, which slowed down the metabolism, and that's why you gain all the weight back. As the researchers found, 2/3 of everybody over 40 years gained back all their weight. That wasn't up for debate. But third, what it's doing to you, by losing lean muscle mass, you also slow down your own immune system. So the researchers put together a new way of looking at things, nothing to do with calorie counting. As a matter of fact, I'm still waiting for anybody after a year. I've had 8 people give me the definition of a calorie. You're counting calories, you don't even know what they are. So let's put that aside. The only thing your body runs on 3 things: air, water, and a minimum amount of what? Not calories, nutrition. When you go on a diet, this is what the researchers found. After 40 years of doing this, you reduce the amount of food, you reduce the amount of nutrition, it triggers the starvation mode, you lose muscle mass, it slows your metabolism down and your immune system. So what they said, we're going to pick foods. They did. There's no product here, everybody. There's no product to buy. It's food. 30% of the food you're going to consume would come from the grocery store. You get a list, a physical list that they use in the medical studies: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they give you serving sizes. Very important. Forget calories, that's nonsense. So those serving sizes mattered, but only 30% of what you would consume you'd buy from the grocery store, right? The other 70% you consume comes from these exotic foods from around the world, from places like where? Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition. Nothing to do with huge quantities of food or calories. Nothing to do with that. Some of the foods actually come from the blue zones where people live to be 100 years old. So now they had their foods. Aha, but here was the secret. Listen to the next part. They got a patent on consuming food. And again, Grinch, if you're still and see someone like Ben Beckman, he didn't have a patent on an eating pattern. This is a huge deal. They got a patent on a new way of eating. What? Yeah. So I want to go over everything with everybody. So 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. That's what they got the patent on. Because what they figured out was it wasn't just that they were giving people all this nutrition. It was when they consumed it, how they consumed it, in what order, over what time frame. That was how they got the patent. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Start with these exotic foods around the world: breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, dinner with your family, and a 4th meal after dinner, not dessert, but another meal from these exotic foods from around the world. Now, I know you're all freaking out going, I can't eat 4 meals a day. Yeah, you can, because these are smaller portions. The portion has nothing to do with it. It's how much nutrition you get. Then 2 days a week, you would do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. What? That's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only the exotic foods around them. But this time, you're going to eat 8 times a day. You're literally going to be eating every hour and a half, every about 90 minutes to 2 hours, over the course of, depending on 12 to 16 hours. That mattered. That's how they get the patent. And look at the results. That's with no exercise. 21 pounds in a month and 38 inches. How many? Put on the chat. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? Well, yeah, Grinch, there's 70 trace ionic minerals in these formula, these foods from around the world. We're in the best organic in this country, Grinch. You get 20 out of 70. That's just one example. No, serving size is the amount of ounces. Serving size is cup size, like 1/3 to 1/2 a cup of blueberries or whatever it might be. No, it's not calories. Forget that. They were calculating the amount of nutrition in the food. That was the whole key to they got a patent, Grinch. They got a patent. Patent. Nobody else has a patent on a formula. So who else? What to eat in the mornings? Every morning you have these exotic foods from around the world. That's your breakfast. Lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal after dinner. You're having 4 meals a day, 5 days a week. 2 days a week, no food from your grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but 8 times a day. You're eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. But look at the results. And the key to this is maintenance, everybody. That picture's 8 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. We're only at 800 likes? Really? Come on, everybody. Tap on your screen. We got to get to, I'm used to 10,000. What am I doing wrong? Am I sucking this morning or afternoon, whatever part of the world you're in? Oh, Grinch, a great question. Grinch, the diabetics on medication, glucophage, metformin, insulin. Their need for insulin, listen to me, Grinch, came down 41% in 30 days. This has never been seen in the history of the world. Talk about insulin resistance, gone. The diabetics on this, I know what you're saying because they were eating 8 times a day, no insulin spikes. Grinch, insulin need went down 41% in a month. I showed you on Curtis, his A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. You don't see that. What meds would you put him on to do that? Triglycerides, 242 to 124. Grinch, apparently you're very knowledgeable about this. Do you understand the significance of that? No diet, no Brickman has ever produced anything like this. It's just silly. It's silly to try and even compare the two. I'm not discrediting him. He's a brilliant guy. He's done great research. But again, we had 550 years ago, the smartest people in the world were telling everybody what? The world's flat. He's still telling people to count calories. Good luck with that. We're doing this. 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago, and I've kept it off for 23 years? That's what I'm doing. So let's see, who else would like to ask me a question? PCOS, insulin, oh my God, PCOS, menopause. You should see what this does for menopause. No, you have to get it through your head, Grinch. This is a detox. That's what this is. So all those other things are helped by the removal of the chemicals that were stored inside of our fat cells. I read to you, didn't I? Were you here? Didn't I read from the Endocrine Society where they talked about The Endocrine Society, largest organization of experts devoted to the study of hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports the rise in the incidence of obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrialized chemicals called obesogens. Did you hear me read that, Grinch? Because I'll read it again if not. Listen, I think this is a great conversation. That's the way this should be. This website is for all of you. Ask me questions. As long as you don't, I just don't like name calling. It's not necessary. I'm not going to call you a name. I'm not saying you would, Grinch, but other people have. I don't tolerate that. We've got enough division in the world. We can have stimulating discussions and we can have different opinions. But all my opinions, I'm basing on medical proof. And even when like I said, when we compare it to like these other researchers like Bickman and other people like that, great. But they've never had results like this. Nobody has. Nobody in the world has ever seen anything like this. Oh, I didn't read. Are you saying I didn't read about that, Grinch? Okay, let me read it again for all of you. So what we're talking about, everybody, is this medical syndrome that I discovered. It's called TDOS, that Grinch, you, me, every person on the planet has it. T is for toxins, D is for nutritional deficiency, O is for being overweight, S is for stress. What we now know that we didn't know until 2005, we're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals. And as the body, to protect us, first presents it to the liver, and our liver is now so overwhelmed. Grinch, this will blow you away. They now estimate 25 to 30% of Americans have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because the liver is trying to process all these chemicals. Once the liver can't handle it anymore, now the chemicals are still coming in. The body takes the chemical and stuffs it inside our visceral fat. You look at her on day 1, that's the bloating you're seeing there from the fat cells expanding from the chemicals. You look at day 30, we have the medical proof of the body removing herbicides, pesticides, Scotch Guard from the body. But let me read to you. Now, it wasn't until 2005 by Mount Sinai Medical School in New York where they discovered that we were storing chemicals in our body. Listen to this. I'm going to read this big report. The Endocrine Society, not me, the endocrines, the largest organization of experts devoted to the research on our hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports that the rise in the incidence in obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrialized chemicals. They give these chemicals a name, they call them obesogens. They go on to say, listen to me carefully, everybody. Simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, artificial hormones fed to animals, plastics in food packaging, chemicals added to processed food, and pesticides sprayed in our produce. They act in a variety of ways, mimicking human hormones such as estrogen. Are you listening, ladies? Blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone, are you listening, men, and essentially reprogram us to gain weight. What are you all doing about obesogens? Grinch, what are you doing about obesogens? Because nothing Bickman has ever shown a gram of toxin being removed from the body. Just to let you know. And I'm not picking on him. He's a brilliant guy. I would never do that. I'm just contrasting the proof from what we now know, what's really going on. This is not a diet, everybody. Please get that. It's a detox. The most important thing you can ever do for your body is assist your own body in detoxification. Why do you think 80%, why do you think they're projecting 86% of America is going to be overweight and obese in 4.5 years? And 50% are pre-diabetic? Does anyone really believe that diets are working? I don't care what the hell the diet is or who did the research. It's a joke. It's a total joke. It's a total failure. Let's see. All S is high, but I thought insulin-resistant PCOS too. Also, if one stop taking, does the weight jump? Well, let me ask you a question, Grinch. Why would you ever stop taking it? You're giving your body what are considered the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. To give you an idea, Grinch, the foods from these exotic areas would represent between 500 and 800 different nutrients. Where are you going to get that? Well, I guess you could try to get it through supplements, and you need to take about 500 pills a day. Why wouldn't you give your body the best in the world? But maintenance is really simple, Grinch. You have me this morning. My breakfast was these exotic foods from around the world. I'm going to have lunch here in a little while, and then I'll have dinner tonight. And then every couple months, I'll do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Not to lose weight anymore, Grinch, to detoxify my body. If I can get anything across to any of you, The main reason to do this is not the weight loss. The main reason to do this is not the fact you can keep it off for the rest of your life. The main reason to do it is to assist your own body in getting the chemicals out of us that are stored inside our bodies, every one of us. Does that sound like a good thing for everybody? What influences is telling you you're even storing? I discovered the medical syndrome, registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, me. I've been talking about this for over 20 years. We're storing chemicals in our body. And now you're seeing the national narrative. They're finally catching up. They're talking about this now, about toxins, about chemicals in our food. My God, I've been screaming about this for years. I am the canary in the coal mine. A lot of you don't like me. It's okay. The science doesn't give a damn about me. Doesn't give a darn about anything other than the results. Look at the results. You're looking at the results, everybody. I get it. Good. All about money. All about money is low income. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. The 40 hours hit doesn't spike. No, the opposite's true. Oh, Grinch, like I told you, in a month, cortisol came down dramatically, but also inflammation. I already told you it came down 25% in a month. Do you know what the biggest thing on this, even when someone like her loses all that weight, you know the number one thing they say, Grinch? I can't believe the way I feel. I can't believe my energy, my mental focus, my stress levels. I'm sleeping better at night. I have way more energy. I have a new zest for life. You're all going to get mad at me when I tell you this, but all of you out there, I don't care what the hell you're doing, you have no idea how bad you feel because you don't understand how good you could feel, even if you think you feel good, even if you're an athlete and you think you're in great shape. Oh, by the way, all I've showed you so far is people that, good, Grinch, I'm glad you understand. I'm going to show you what happens if you exercise. Now, every picture, let me show you the pictures again first real quick for everybody. So this Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days, that's with no exercise allowed. Okay, understand. Look at how much your body shrank, everybody. Now, let's go to my friend's daughter. This is his daughter. We didn't Photoshop. 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. Look at that. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. And then Curtis, I showed you that before. Where's Curtis? Right here. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? Look at his A1C. Grinch, you were commenting about insulin, but his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, and the triglycerides, which is the other sugar you want to not have a lot of, 242 to 124. Now I'm going to show you an athlete. Now everyone, keep in mind, this is exactly 11 days. The person I'm going to show you is a surfer who lives in Costa Rica, who works out 5 days a week in a gym. So the first day, that's a result of surfing, working out. You'll see actually in really good shape just to start out with. So day one in the blue and red trunks. Now look at the stomach area as we move forward. It says day 5, that's the morning of day 5. So it's 4 days in. Look at that transformation. And then day 12 is the morning of day 12. It's 11 days in. Look at that transformation, everybody. Have you ever seen anything like that in 11 days? You think this is a diet. He didn't do this to lose weight. He did to increase his lean muscle mass. Do you know in all these studies where they measured people's lean muscle mass, with no exercise, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle? Obviously, he did a lot better than that. Now, some of you can say, oh, that's Photoshop. Well, this time you're wrong because I know this person. That's my youngest son. He's 42 years old. He lives in Costa Rica. I have a 5-year-old grandson that I adore who lives in Costa Rica with him, and his wife who's wonderful. And he's an incredible athlete. But look at his improvement. That's 11 days, everybody. Has anyone ever seen anything like that before in 11 days? Now that's with exercise. That's my whole point. But let's come back to ground zero. How many of you, men or women, would be really excited about being able to lose 20 pounds in a month? Right? Oh, Grinch, hold on. 3 months, Grinch, 3 months, right there, 90 days. Sweetie, you want to know how she did it? Grinch, yes, skinny diabetics, absolutely, help skinny diabetics as well. Every kind of diet. Listen, I didn't tell you this, Grinch. The chemist who invented this more than 25 years ago was a type 2 diabetic on an insulin pump. Who invented this? It was invented for diabetics. Now it's expanded over the years, and obviously it's weight loss and a lot of other things. But okay, I'm going to tell you, sweetie, here in 1 second. She on your group to chat with. No, she's the daughter of a friend of mine. She just gave me her pictures to use, that's all. But we do have a group that meets every Thursday night. It's a Zoom call, and they come on and they all share these kind of stories. We've got people in there that have lost, over 100 pounds. I mean, we got nurses, we got doctors, et cetera. So what I would say, Grinch, go to the website right above the New Health Conversation. If you like what you see, get a free consult, and they'll invite you to the Thursday night call. You don't have to do the program to be part of the Thursday night call. But let me come back to Sweetie here, and let's talk about. So first of all, Sweetie, I'd just like to know, are you looking to lose weight and how much? Because I'll give you the perspective of really how quickly and safely you could lose it. I'm going to explain what you would do. But if you don't mind, if you just want to tell me, maybe you want to gain weight. And look, you all need to know, including you, Grinch. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have people with hyperthyroidism, with goiter, etc. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with kidney transplants. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, preventing, or diagnosing any medical conditions. We don't need to do that. We have the medical proof to back it all up. Okay, so Sweetie, well, that's about what she lost. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sweetie. Isn't a stone about 10 pounds? Can you do the conversion for me real quick on Google so I don't get off? Well, we're not healing. I can't say that, all right? But massive like I told you, imagine people with goiter, people with hyperthyroidism, women with no thyroids that had thyroid cancer removed, they're able to lose weight. Obviously, we're not curing, I mean, they don't have a thyroid anymore, so no. We're not curing, treating, I can't make those, I would never make those kind of statements. PCOS, so you want to lose 50 to 100 pounds, Grinch? Is that what you're talking about? Heals the gut. Oh my, Grinch, I already told you. Here's a huge study. You can see it on the site. Nature Communications. Gut microbiome remodeling, metabolic profile improves drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent fasting. So again, hopefully you're hearing that too, Sweetie. Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. You don't have to tell me how much you want to lose. So the way this works, Sweetie, is really unique. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. Nobody in the pictures I'm showing you was allowed to exercise. Do you hear me? No exercise allowed. So what the researchers who invented this, that was not me, these are, but they're considered, rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world for 40 years. They'd done 100 studies, thousands of people of every diet out there, and they concluded one thing: no diet worked long term. I'm sure you would agree with that. What they did, they looked at why don't diets work, and they don't work because we've all been brainwashed. Remember, these researchers were assigned to evaluate a diet. Keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time restricted, whatever it was. So they didn't invent those diets. And all those diets were based on some form of counting calories, and they realized that was an abject failure for this reason. The body runs on 3 principles: air, water, and a third principle needs a minimum of what? Not calories, Sweetie, only nutrition. So the researchers said, if we're going to make something that's going to work, we have to figure out how can we give people food in a small enough quantity that has large amounts of nutrition, not calories, nothing to do with calories. That's why they developed, for her and everybody else, serving sizes, Sweetie, not calories, nothing to do with calories. You got it so far? How did they accomplish this? So you would get a grocery list. So if you're in the UK or in Ireland or Madrid, because all those are available, those researchers they ship to those locations. You'd get a list to take your grocery store of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, not calorie amounts, but serving sizes. Does that make sense to Sweetie and everybody else? Let's start with that principle. 30% of what you would buy, you're going to buy from your local grocery store. So if you started out with your total food budget, whatever you spent last month, this month, doing this, only 30% you're going to spend what you spent last month. The other 70%, and this is what makes it work, came from other researchers who, Sweetie, had gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. Am I making sense so far, Sweetie? Okay? Give me a yes at some point just so you know, or you can stop me if I'm getting too complicated. So then, now they had the foods they're going to eat. But here's what's so amazing, Sweetie. They ended up creating and got a U.S. patent. I think you know what a patent is, right? It's a big deal, right? The only one. There's no other diet in the world with a patent on how to eat. So they developed 2 new ways of eating, which were part of this patent called protein pacing. So, Sweetie, this is what you do. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. Yep. You start with these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That's your breakfast. lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. So does everybody understand? 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. Now what mattered was not that they were getting all this nutrition, it was when they were getting it, how it was spaced out, the timing. They call it the eating patterns, all of which we would teach you. All the coaching on this, sweetie, is free. We don't sell it, we don't have any products. We coach you for free. Now, 2 days a week, you do something, and don't let this scare you off, called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no regular food from your grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time you'd be eating 8 times a day. Wow, that's crazy, right? But you're going to be having these exotic foods, which were small in quantity. But to give you an idea, sweetie, these food groups would be the equivalent to you having between 600 and 800 different nutrients. You'd have to be taking like 500 pills a day to equal what's in this. These are foods. And some of them came from these blue zones. If you're familiar with those areas in the world where people live to be like 100 years old and they basically don't get sick. That's what they see. If you tried to do this with food from your grocery store, if it's organic, they tried that. It didn't work because there wasn't enough nutrition. You needed, and these aren't even superfoods. They're beyond a category I can't even describe. So now that's what happened. You can see, well, that, I don't know what that is in stone. I think that 20 pounds might be 2 stone. I think a stone's 10 pounds. But I think you get the idea. Look at her body. Look at day 1, day 30. Sweetie, is that unbelievable? Oh, you want to lose 10 stone. Help by tapping. Yeah, tap. Yes, that's amazing. Sweetie, how much, can anybody tell me how much a stone is? Can someone look that up and tell me? Can I ask Balance, have you heard of, it's Umati, nonsense, Umati tea, nonsense. Fiber supplements, nonsense, nonsense. No, here's the problem, no peer-reviewed human trial studies. With all due respect, Grinch, see, 14 pounds. Oh, a stone is 14 pounds, so that means you want to lose 10, 140. Okay, well then you want to look at how much would this excite you? Because let's see, you said 10. So she lost 5, a little over, well, almost 5 stone in 3 months. Does that make sense? 6, so 14, yeah, so 5 stone would be, well, 4.5 stone is what she lost if it's 14 pounds per pound, sweetie. But look at the change in her body composition, everybody. Look at her, from her face to her arms to her body. Sweetie, what do you think about that picture? Do you think it's the same woman? Do you think we faked you out? Do you understand how this could change your life, sweetie? Let me ask you this. How excited would you be if you could lose as much weight in the first 4 days as in 4 to 6 weeks of any diet you've ever been on? Please tell me. Tell me in the chat how excited you'd be about that. Tracy Ann, hello. Same woman, and she looks so healthy. Right, sweetie. She's the daughter of a friend of mine. I guess you could think I was that sinister that I would Photoshop that. I don't need to Photoshop. We're helping the world, everyone. And sweetie, do you see right above her in blue there, the new health conversation? Do you see that? Give me a yes. You are eating on the Samira. You are, see, that's the problem. Get anything you've ever done before out of your mind. Samara, you're eating 8 times a day. Samara, on the fasting days. That's why it's intermittent nutritional fasting. Do you understand that? Samira? Samara? Don't let me mispronounce your name. I'm not trying to be impolite. So you do see, because that's the website we all can go to. And what's there is, there's the website. Click on it. And the only thing on that website is the medical proof, sweetie, and everybody else. And those modules, including number 1, is an interview, sweetie, with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He and his team invented this. And you know what they say in the interview? They will never recommend any form of diet ever again. They said it would be unethical. Because, sweetie, why would they want to put you through a diet where in 8 weeks you'd lose and up to 40% of what you lose in lean muscle mass when you could lose that much weight in a week? Well, you tell me, when was the last time you ever lost? So let's see, 10 pounds would be what? 14. 10 pounds would be like 1.5 stone in 5 pounds. Sorry, 5 pounds would be half a stone. Yeah, about a half a stone in a week. When was the last time that ever happened to you? Or lose, no, I guess I was right. I was looking at 21 pounds is about 2 stone, a little under 2 stone in 30 days. When was the last time that ever happened? Oh, brilliant. I'll look at this. Can someone hyperinsulin eat that many? Yes, Grinch. I just told you. Did you look, Grinch? Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. You know what happened to most of the diabetics on this, Grinch? Their doctors cut their meds by 50% in 30 days, including him. 50%. Because his insulin need went down so much, and they measured it. It's not an opinion. And Grinch, if you go there, you'll see the medical proof, the 41% reduction in insulin, for example. A 41%, was it? Yeah, 41%. Let's see. I don't want to misquote you. Sorry, triglycerides came down 24%. His came down almost 50% in a month, from 242 to 124. This is perfect for diabetics. You think you're going to go on a diet and produce anything like this? Any of you? No. Still drink tea and coffee. Yes, you can drink coffee for sure. Tea, it has to be no artificial sweeteners. The teas that we would recommend are things like chamomile, ones with low amounts of caffeine, although you can have them with caffeine if you want. But see, this thing like Asamanti, it's all nonsense. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. They keep coming on and see, they make claims with no proof. The thing that makes this so unique for all of you, there's 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Sweetie, you can't go higher in medical research than a peer-reviewed human trial studies. We have 10 of them, 10. Am I making sense to everybody? So who else? Samira, any more questions? And again, for all of you, go, if you want, go to Google, type in the new health conversation. It could change your lives. You think I'm exaggerating this? You could change your life. In literally, we have an expression, just give us 4 days. You know why? Because, sweetie, most of the time, people lose as much weight in 4 days as a month of dieting. How much would that excite you, sweetie? Or Samira, if you could lose as much weight in 4 days safely as in a month of dieting, would that motivate you to continue? Listen, all of you. So I lost, let me explain it to you. So, sweetie, I would have lost to 2.5 stone in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years, just to give you an idea how dramatic. Because it's all about maintenance, sweetie. It's not about can you lose the weight. It's about teaching you how to keep it off. And here's the thing I want you all to read above where it says the new health conference, free coaching. The coaching's free. We don't have it. We don't sell you anything. There's no products here. It's food and a new way of eating that's patented. A patented way to eat. Who the hell has that? Pardon my French. I get so excited because I want to help all of you. I have a huge, I guess you could say, chip on my shoulder. My own mother was morbidly obese. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. She was awesome. And 24 years ago, she called me up one day and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend 1 day thin. I said, well, Mom, that's really cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mother, in my opinion, dieted herself to death. She did about every diet that there was. At the end, she was on high blood pressure medication. She was on water pills. She was on beta blockers. She was on high cholesterol medication, etc. I'd see her lose 20 pounds or like a stone and gain it all back in like in a week at the most. That's the problem with all of you, and all these diets are unsustainable. Not because I said so. Here's a big study why you, listen to me, including you, sweetie, why you shouldn't count calories. The research has said, while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. So, sweetie, why are you going on a diet to gain weight? Do you see how crazy this whole thing is? And what do we keep doing? Sweetie, can you name a diet that's not some form of counting calories? Can anybody? Can anybody even give me the definition of what is a calorie? What is a calorie? In a year's time, and I'm doing 3 or 4 of these podcasts a day, thousands of people, I've had 8 people give me the definition of a calorie. And yet you're all counting calories. Don't get mad at me. People do. They get mad at me telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like calories in, calories out. No, it's not. I just read the damn study saying that 2/3 of people who count calories gain back more weight than they lost. But we love to follow opinions. It sounds easy, right? Oh, do time-restricted eating. You don't eat for 16 hours, you eat for 8. It's all nonsense. There's not one shred of medical evidence. The medical evidence behind schemes like that is horrible. Like, I don't know, many of you may have heard of this. You don't eat for 16 hours and eat for 8. Well, let's go to the medical proof, not somebody on the internet giving you an opinion. This is from the Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the biggest medical journals in the world. They did a 3-month study on this. You don't eat for 16 hours and eat for 8. I'm just going to read from the study. I'm not giving you an opinion. So again, for the censors, we don't give people opinions. We give them information they can go and see for themselves. It's in the public domain. So we're not making a claim. It's all viewable. So our researchers at the Journal of the American Medical Association found after 3 months that overweight adults who were assigned to routinely fast 16 hours daily over the course of that 3 months gained almost no benefit from it. Over the course of 3 months, they lost an average of 2 to 3.5 pounds, and most of the weight they shed was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. Now, let's be kind and say the person's giving you misinformation. Do you see what's going on, everybody? We have a blind eye to the fact that we have 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese, 2.5 billion people worldwide overweight. In the United States, the projections now, within 4.5 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. And in 23 years, they're saying 100% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. I mean, is it just me? I'd love for somebody to put it in the chat. Does that sound like insanity to you? What are we doing? Whatever the hell we're doing, it's not working. Does anyone agree or not? Do you think diets work long term? Do you think we're going to be at 100% overweight or obese? You can stop it today. You can totally stop it. Yeah, I'm very passionate. Yeah, sweetie, read through the website. I tried intermittent fasting. It was bogus. So, Samir, let me give you a hand. You're supporting. You understand, Samir, I'm not making things up. Right? Do you agree? Yes, they're available in California. I have a very tight budget. Okay, so Christy, let me explain something to you. But first, let me finish. Sweetie, are you good? You know, by the way, all of you, including you, Christy, can go to the free website above her head there, the New Health Conversation, and see the medical proof and then get a free coach. And the coach, by the way, they'll go over. Because look, Christy, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady that's 91 years old. Obviously, they're not doing the full program, right? We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with a kidney transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical diseases. But obviously, when those people can take it, it's safe. Because why? Because it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So most of the time, Christy, to be honest with you, if you took whatever you spent last month on your total grocery bill, 30% you're going to spend this month at the grocery store. The other 70% probably will pay for these other exotic foods. But there's no substitute. It's not like you go to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and get these foods from China, not China, but Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. But the other part of it, Christy, you're buying directly from them. There's no middleman. So I don't know about your budget, so I would never presume. But you understand, go to the website, you get a free, absolute free coach, and they'll go over all those things and options. You could go slower. It can be very affordable. I can tell you this, maintenance is unbelievable. Maintenance is less, your breakfast every day is less than like a cup of Starbucks coffee. That's how affordable it is. And that's those exotic foods from around the world. That's what I'm saying. You'd think it would be way more expensive, but because there's no middleman and you're buying direct from the researchers, it makes it very affordable. You're not buying anything from us. We don't have any products. We don't sell anything. We're the coaches. Okay, so we're digging our own grave, sweetie. You're absolutely right. I think, okay. But Samira, see what she's saying there, sweetie? I tried intermittent fasting. It was bogus. I actually gained weight. And didn't I just read? Now, look, I want all of you, sweetie, Grinch, Kathy Lee, understand, I don't make up things. Does anyone think I'm trying to sell you something? I don't have any products. I don't know what I'd sell you. Am I educating you? Honestly, tell me, do you feel, because we're at 3,600 likes now, so obviously all of a sudden people are liking this content, but be honest with me, Samira or Sweetie or Christy, do you feel like you're getting educated, not sold? We don't have anything to sell you. What would we sell you? I didn't even tell you the best part. In addition, Christy and Sweetie, it's called the Blueprint for Success. which was what they used in the medical studies. You get daily, these are daily videos. It's all free. All this coaching is free and a live coach. There's no guesswork. Even in here, you'll be able to read it. You can, I think you can read it. The schedule and then recommended food list. And you see these little squares? They're daily videos from these top researchers explaining to you it's safe. This is what you're doing. They don't sell anything. They don't have any products. So why would they do this? Because they spent 40 years trying to find, and now they're credited with finding the solution worldwide to obesity. So do you think they want you to do some other version? No, they want quality control. They want you to have the opportunity, sweetie, Christy, Samira, whoever, to do it the way they did it in the medical studies. Don't you want to do that? And you get a live coach. There's nothing like that. Oh, I didn't even tell you the best part. So Christy, you'll be excited about this. And sweetie. So those exotic foods you're buying, like 70% approximately what you're going to spend, you spent last month on food, those researchers, they'll give you 100% of your money back guarantee in the first month, no questions asked. Did you hear what I just said? 100% money back guarantee. Now, the food you're buying from the grocery store, I don't think they're going to give you your money back. What you're doing here, you're buying a month's worth of food, but you're learning how to eat in a totally new way that's patented. Patented. Do you know what a big deal a patent is? You know what that takes to get a patent? I have registered trademarks. That's big enough. It cost me enough money. I discovered I have 3 registered trademarks, including the new health conversation. Don't you think we need one, everybody? Tried everything. Nothing has worked. And again, Christy, yes, you're educating us. Thank you. Samira, are you excited? Are you learning something? Are you motivated? Look, for all of you, and Sweetie and Christy and Grinch, thank you all so much. I love these civil conversations. Grinch and myself have had a wonderful exchange. All above board, all nice. There's no reason to attack each other. Grinch, if you can learn something that can change the rest of your life, go for it. But there's nothing like this. That's the thing, Grinch and Christy and Sweetie. There's no equivalent to this on the planet. I mean, when you have, so think about this. Let me just walk everybody through the scenario. This was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. By the way, Sweetie or Christy or Samira or Grinch, do any of you understand what a physiologist is? A physiologist studies the nutrients once they enter our body. A nutritionist deals with putting so they're the top weight loss nutrition and physiologists in the world. They're ranked number 1. To tell you how amazing it is, they're ranking. So the ranking is not 0 to 100. It's a different scale. It's called the H-index. That's how researchers are rated. Well, let me tell you how important this is. If someone, a scientist, and would have a really high rating, they'd get a score of about 20. People who won the Nobel Prize in medicine get a 30. This group, this researcher in particular, you know what his score is? 46. Did you hear what I just said? A great researcher is 20, Nobel Prize people are 30, he's a 46. They're the ones that invented this. I'm trusting my health to them. As nice as people are on the internet and they give you all this and they write on whiteboards and they have all these credentials, they don't have one shred of medical evidence. That should really concern all of you, because the highest we can go in medical research. Wow, look at Shred It Now. Look at someone came on 15 pounds in my first 11 days and 60 pounds in less than 6 months, and they've maintained it. There you go. I didn't know they were coming on. So Christy, Samira, everybody, so you agree that what we're doing a public service by educating you. We don't have time to convince you or sell you. That's the purpose of the website. Go to the website, learn and see for yourself. It's all free to go there. Grinch, thanks for the rose. We're at 3,700 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on there. I'm really in a good mood now. I'm in an hour and 43 minutes. I'm on a roll. I want to keep going. Are there any new people that want to come on and ask me questions? Christy, do you understand this could change the rest of your life? I have no idea. Christy, if you don't mind, how much do you want to lose? I should have asked you before. I know I'm nosy Nelly, but I just want to give you a real, what I think is realistic. And that's without exercise. If you exercise, but you can talk to your coaches about it. The coaching's free, Christy. The whole coaching, the whole time is free. But look at that person. Wow. Okay, Christy. So, Christy, maximum 6 weeks to 2 months. And then you're going to keep it off for the rest of your life. Christy, how excited would you be if you could lose? So let's say you could say July 1st. So by the end of August, you're down 30 pounds. How excited would you be, Christy? That doesn't mean you can't do it faster, but I'd rather underpromise than overperform. Because she had 30 pounds to lose. She lost 21 pounds in the first month. So I'm kind of giving you a gauge for what's possible. But tell me how excited you would be about that. And Christy, I just told you 70%, 100% money back guarantee. I mean, what? Because otherwise, Christy, to lose the 30 pounds, what would you do? You already heard Samira, one of them, talking about they did intermittent fasting and gained all the weight back. It's all a joke. All these diets are a joke, everybody, a joke. Joke. Christy, I'm dying of curiosity what you're saying. We have never felt better than we do right now. Thank you, Peter. Wow. 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 Well, thank you, too. Oh, is this... I can't tell if it's a man or a woman. Did two of you do it together? Can you share with the audience? See what's cool. We have people that are doing this and they just come on. It's not pre-set up. I had no idea they were going to come on. Wow, we've never felt better than we do now. Thank you, Peter. Wow. Nothing has helped me, so I'm excited to book my consultation. Great, Christy. Christy, all of you make me feel so good because as a researcher, your end game, your outcome should be, did we find research that can make a difference in people's lives? You're seeing what these people are saying. Can you read what they said right there, Christy? Look, what they said, we've never felt better than we do right now. Thank you, Peter. But you have to understand, I do these podcasts, a lot of them, right? I never have any idea because most of the time they go and they get coaches. As a matter of fact, I'm curious, the people, Michael and Sheila, okay, this is Michael and Sheila McConnell. Okay, so did your wife do it also, Michael? I'm just curious. So let's see, Christy, what they did. So it was a husband and wife. I'm assuming, Michael, you're the one who lost 15 pounds in the first 11 days and 60 in less than 6 months. So I guess we'd want to know, if your wife did it, how did she do? And have you been able to maintain the weight loss? And how long ago has it been? So his wife, he's saying yes, Sheila's his wife. So how much did she lose over what period of time? Christy, isn't this cool? We have live people. It's not a plant, Christy, I promise. I did not know they were going to come on. I never know when people are going to come on. Look at this. Look at Sheila. Christy, look at her. 10 pounds in the first 11 days, 60 pounds in 6 months, and 65 inches. See, that's the other thing. They measure from their neck to their ankles. That's why look on the picture on your screen. Look at her stomach, how much she shrank. Listen to this. In 6 months, she went from a size 20 to a size 8, and now she's playing pickleball every day. Christy, what do you think about that? Comment. Tell them. They're live. They're there right now. You can ask them any question you want. They're live right now at this moment. Oh, is that great? That makes me look good. Wow, 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 wow. This is just so exciting. Christy, does that motivate you or what? Or Grinch, if you're still on, or any of you? She went from a size 20 to a size 8. Is that cool? That is very cool, everybody. So the point is that what you're looking at on the screen is we're seeing real, yes, very excited. Yeah, yeah. So Michael and Sheila, you're exciting someone right here. That's wonderful. And Michael and Sheila, can you comment for everybody how important was it? Number one, is the coaching free? And secondly, did the coaching help you? See, Christy, you could have asked them that question, but I'm asking it anyway. I just want to see maybe they'll say the coaching sucked. I don't know. I can't regulate whatever they're going to say. But Christy, I would think the thing it gives you is hope, right? Doesn't it more than anything give you a hope that this is real? And like I said, Christy, I don't know if you saw this before, but this was on the cover of Women's Day magazine, June 9th, just 18 days ago. The mom and daughter, I coached them both. The daughter is a nurse. She lost 50 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom is 80 years old, lost 90 pounds, 80 pounds, sorry, 90 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 3 years. So listen, read what she said, Christy. The coaching is incredible, the community is wonderful, and they're still coaching us. And they've been doing it for how many years? Michael, how many years have you been doing it? See, that's the other thing, Christy. I want you to see how long they've been able to keep the weight off. I'm sure they'll comment back. So now, Coach Reed or Red or anybody, you can ask them. They're live. They're right here. These are real people doing this. It's not a plant. I didn't know they were going to come on. So look, they've been on it for 2.5 years, and they've been able to maintain that weight loss, everyone, for 2.5 years. Proving my point. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. Does everybody get that? So again, Christy, what do you think? Cool? Cool? All of you, what do you think? They're still on here live. If anybody would like to ask them a question, type it in the chat. This is your chance. You don't have to believe me. These are real people with real results. Oh, see what they're saying? Cindy on the covers of Women World was the one that introduced it to us. We're so thankful for her. Wow. So this woman, she's my friend in the blue. She's the nurse, 57 years old, 50 pounds. She coached them, and she's a nurse. Isn't that cool? I didn't know that. Well, I can't know all the people that these people are helping and coaching, right? And look at the title, everyone. Over 50 Protein Miracle. This is not an advertisement. This is the cover story, the news story for this magazine, the number one women's magazine in the whole world. And let's see. Look, they wrote a 2-page article. New Protein Miracle Diet. Can everybody see that? I mean, how cool is that, everybody? I don't know what to tell all of you. So again, who would like to ask a question while we have them on here? I don't know how they're going to hang around. But if you have a question, type it in there. This is so cool. Isn't this cool, everybody? See, the New Health Conversation, it's a movement. Every Thursday night, we have a call where people come on and just talk. We have people that want to gain weight. We have a young mom who had a baby that could not gain weight. She was on last night, and her baby, I think 14 or 15 months, I don't remember. In a month, the baby has gained 3 pounds. The pediatrician is out of their mind, excited. The baby had something called failure to thrive, where basically the baby wasn't growing. It's not a weight loss program, everybody. And obviously that baby is not doing the full program. She's doing a minor part of it. I mean, it's not a diet. Oh, see, they're saying last night call was amazing, such amazing testimonials. So again, for Christy or any of you, the coaches, they'll invite you onto that, even if you haven't started yet. It's so inspirational. It's crazy. And we have medical doctors, we have nurses, we have PAs, we have dietitians, we have nutritionists, we have fitness people. It's crazy because everybody wants to be part of this community. Don't you want to be part of look, a shameless plug for me, I agree. In my first book, I wrote one line that I think was pretty famous. I said, imagine in the future. Now this is 2010, 15 years ago. Imagine in the future, legions of the sick marching on the hospitals when there won't be enough doctors, nurses, beds, or drugs. Didn't we just go through that? See, what we want to do and I went on, the New Health Conversation is about what? We want to create legions of the well to help the legions of the sick. So people like Cindy and other people are coaching people because they got coached. So, well, in this case, I coached Cindy and her mom, okay? So I'm being totally transparent. I did a pretty good job, right? But that's what we want. That's what this movement, because it really is a movement. I mean, it's not because I started it. But don't you all think we need the new or a New Health Conversation, whatever, but the New Health Conversation is my brand. That's where you can go to see the medical proof for free. So again, all of you, I want to show you what you can do. Go to Google or your whatever browser, type in the New Health Conversation. Hopefully you all can see it there, right? And then you scroll down. Well, no, you click, and there's the website. There's nothing to buy there. There's no buy buttons. We will not contact you if you go to that website. Because, like, for example, number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. And he'll explain to you why this discovery, they'll never recommend to their patients ever again a traditional diet. None of them. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time restricted eating, fasting, water fast. None. No, no, no. They said it would be unethical. We've cracked the code. We've figured it out. So again, who else would like to ask me a question? Because every time I show that picture, new people come on and they go, how did they do that? I want to know. I want to know. Well, if you want to know, just put a yes in there. If you want me to explain to you, how did she lose 21 pounds at 38 inches in a month with no exercise? And she's kept it off for 8 years. I think actually it's going on 9 years because I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So who else would like to ask a question or make a comment, etc.? Thank you so much, Michael and Sheila, for being on. That's a wonderful treat when we get real life people that are having these kind of life-changing experiences. Oh, look what he's saying. We haven't even had a cold in 2.5 years, no sickness. We believe it's helped us in our gut health. Wow, I didn't see that till just now. Does everybody read that down near the bottom? It's talking about their results on the protocol. We haven't even had a cold in 2.5 years. No sickness. We believe it's helped us in our gut health. Wow. See, it's not a diet, everybody. It's not a diet. Who else would like to ask me a question? Wow, I'm almost at 2 hours. We're at 3,800 likes. Come on, let's get some more. Let's get up to 4,000. I do need to take a break because of my voice, because I want to do another one in about an hour. So it's now 2:30 Eastern time. So I probably will do another one around 3:30 Eastern time. Wow, we're so thankful again, Peter, for you. We just reduced our health insurance and our life insurance. I never heard of that benefit before. That's great, everybody. Great. Are you all getting the picture? This isn't a diet. It's like nothing you've ever done before. This is not paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time restricted eating, count your carbs, macros, any of that nonsense. None of it works. None of it works. This does. Wow, Shred It Now gave me a rose. Thank you, Shred It Now. That's so nice of you two. That's awesome. Come on, everybody. Tap on the screen. We're at 3,800. I know we can get to 2,000. What, are you just trying to get me to hang around? No, I'm grateful for the 3,800 likes, but I just like round numbers, like 4,000. Come on, any of you that are still on here, can you just tap on that screen? All you do is tap on your smartphone on the screen, and it records hearts, and the likes go up. Oh, there goes some hearts. Okay, so somebody's showing me some love, all right? And again, I really like the fact that what people have said on this today, they really do feel like they're getting educated. I'd love to ask anybody that's on here, Grinch, if you're still on there, or Lisa, any of you, have you seen any other people on social media that are educating you? Or are they just explaining to you something that they have no medical proof? Even if they're trying to educate you, they're educating about something that doesn't have any medical proof behind it. You can tell I'm pretty serious about the fact I don't share anything with you that's not backed by medical proof. Because the censors within the community guidelines, I understand. We don't go outside those guidelines. We don't have to. We don't have to exaggerate. We don't have to make any claims. We're just giving you the absolute medical proof for all of you. We're at 4,100. Wonderful. All right, everybody. I'm going to rest my voice. I'll come back on probably around 1:30. Sorry. No, that's going to be, what time is it going to be my time? 3:30. It's 1:30 my time in Denver. I would have really messed that up. So 3:30 Eastern time today, I'll come on and do another podcast for all of you. Okay? Thank you all. Go to the website. No, I'm not going to order. No, I'm not your boss. Okay, let me rephrase that. I invite you to go to the website and see the medical proof. And if you like what you see right above, it's free coaching. The coaching is free the whole time. There's no charge for coaching. Okay? All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off now. We'll catch you later.